England kick off their inaugural Nations Championship tournament this evening, and it doesn't get harder than this. They're away to the reigning World Cup champions South Africa in Johannesburg. Steve Borthwick's men have come off second best in 4 of their last 5 outings against the Boks, and they'll be especially determined to avenge the last 2 painful World Cup defeats inflicted by South Africa. And whilst the challenge of facing the world champions at altitude will be a concern, a common theme for England teams this weekend, England will be aware of the physical and attacking threat which the Boks possess. With captain Mario Itoje being rested for this nation's tournament block, Jamie George has taken the armband for England, leading them into this huge match. George Furbank misses out on this game, though, through appendicitis, so it's likely that Marcus Smith will take his place. But let's run through that England starting 15. And the back's likely to see Marcus Smith coming in at 15. You've got Manny Faye-Waboso, Tommy Freeman, Seb Atkinson, Caden Murley, Finn Smith, Jack van Poortvliet. In the forwards, you've got Ellis Genge, Jamie George, Joe Hayes. And at 4, you've got Alex Coles, George Martin, Ollie Chesham, Tom Curry and Ben Earl at 8. So let's have a look at some key matchups between the England team and South African team. So in that engine room, you've got Martin and Coles versus Etzebeth and Norkie. The return of the massive George Martin is a huge boost for England. He brings that sheer weight, heavy collisions and clearing power needed to try and keep Eben Etzebeth at bay. You've also got Seb Atkinson and Tommy Freeman versus Damien Dialande and Jesse Kriel. So probably conscious of the collision damage Damien Dialande and Jesse Kriel possess, Steve Borthwick has effectively selected 2 of the biggest, most physical centre options available to him. Seb Atkinson has a massive physical test on his hand trying to stop Dialande, whilst the versatile and powerful Tommy Freeman has to move inside to 13 off the wing to try and provide that extra layer of defensive muscle and robust carrying power and pace needed in the middle. We've got Chesham, Curry and Earl versus Khaleesi, Detroit and Visa. By shifting Ollie Chesham to the blindside flanker, England have added some serious height and grit to their back row, helping to try and mirror the immense blindside pressure of Pieter-Steph du Toit. This enables Tom Curry and Ben Earl to play as a dynamic Jacqueline duo. You've also got Genge, George and Hayes versus Nche, Marks and du Toit. This is going to be the ultimate litmus test. Ellis, Genge and Captain Jamie George bring a combined 190 caps of elite test match experience, but they will need to rely heavily on that experience, and the pressure will heavily fall on tight head Joe Hayes facing Nche. And starting Malcolm Marks at 6,000 feet of altitude is a brutal opener for the pair. England's front row is a huge experience, but they must keep their discipline to try and avoid coughing up early penalties to the Boks. Then at the back in the wings, you've got Marcus Smith, Faye-Waboso and Murley versus Willems, Colby and Arendse. England have foregone size at the back in favour of dynamic pace and fast hands. Marcus Smith will try and act as a crucial second playmaker to try and alleviate some of the pressure that's going to be on Finn Smith, whilst Manny Faye-Waboso and Caden Murley bring that raw power and speed. They match up perfectly in terms of pure gas against Colby and Arendse, though they will have to be remarkably switched on defensively to try and contain that South African kick chase and pressure. But the biggest headline dominating the build-up of this game has been around England's enigmatic 21-year-old back rower, Henry Pollock. So despite coming off a spectacular Premiership winning campaign with the Saints, Steve Borthwick has chosen to start Pollock from the bench wearing the 21 shirt, opting instead for the season test experience of Tom Curry and Ben Earl to try and handle that brutal opening exchanges of the match. Borthwick's decision to bench the young star might be a very clever calculated move to try and shield him from what is going to be an incredibly hostile environment at Ellis Park. Or simply it could be a tactical plan to try and unleash Pollock's explosive game-breaking ability when the match finally opens up. But either way, Henry Pollock has been firmly branded as public enemy number 1 by local fans and the media in South Africa. Pollock's unapologetic on-field attitude, his relentless engine and high-energy persona has heavily rubbed South African rugby traditionalists up the wrong way. Former Bok legends have openly stoked the fire, with Schockberger jokingly labelling him a TikTok dancer and Dwayne Vermeulen hinting he'd love to come out of retirement for just 10 minutes at Ellis Park to personally show the youngster what a real physical welcome feels like. And whilst Rassie Erasmus's sides normally pride themselves on breaking down structural systems rather than obsessing over an individual, the Ellis Park crowd will be eagerly baying for the moment Pollock crosses that white line. So the final 20 or 30 minutes will be key. If England can try and survive that initial Bok bruising and set-piece onslaught, Borthwick may plan to completely transition into a high-tempo, expansive game. So introducing Pollock alongside the tactical accelerators like Alex Mitchell and Marcus Smith gives England a highly lethal finishing unit. Earlier on in the week, fellow Saints teammate George Furbank warned the local media, every time we've spoken about the opposition hating him, he seems to go out and perform. He gets better the bigger the stage. So roll on tonight at Ellis Park is going to be an absolute cracker. Make sure you tune in on ITV.